Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
Here in Tasmania, we've escaped the worst of the heat, with temperatures not quite hitting the highs we were expecting. For an update on the conditions, our reporter John Hunt joins us live. John, good evening. What are conditions like at the moment?
Joe, it is hot here in Hobart, currently around 32 degrees. The heat came later in the day and we're expecting a warm night. The forecast hasn't quite lived up to expectations though. There were tops of 36 degrees expected in the Derwent Valley, but it hasn't reached that. As the state is hit by this warm spell, there is a new warning from fire authorities. They're worried about dry lightning, essentially storms without rain, bringing lightning strikes that could turn into fires. The TFS is urging people to report any new starts, and they've also declared a fire ban in the north and on parts of the east coast tomorrow.
We know a lot of people are going to be moving across the state. Be aware of the restrictions in the areas where they may be travelling and take heed of those restrictions. They're there for a reason.
Now, a cold front is expected to cross the state tomorrow, bringing much cooler conditions. But Joe, we are still expecting some elevated fire dangers, so authorities are urging Tasmanians to be vigilant.
Well, water restrictions are now in force in Hobart and 2 other Tasmanian towns as authorities brace for low rainfall. Taswater hopes to save 20% of its reserves to aid parched farms and bushfire efforts.
With parts of the east coast still burning and little rain on the horizon, authorities aren't taking chances with the water supply.
We need to ensure that there's adequate supplies for firefighting, particularly on the east coast. As we know at the moment, there's fires burning there. Coles
Bay must now abide by Stage 2 water restrictions. New rules are in place, including a ban on watering lawns. In Bridport, residents are also being asked to think twice before turning the tap.
But it's essentially common sense practices around watering at times of the day.
From today, the tourist hotspot joins Greater Hobart on Stage 1 restrictions. Measures include a ban on hosing hard surfaces like driveways and set hours for manual and automatic watering systems. It's hoped more water will be available to farmers if non-essential use is cut by 20%.
It is about making sure that there's still water there for everyone to use, not just the residential side of things, but to make sure that there is irrigation water available.
The restrictions are expected to be in place until the end of February, and other towns could be joining them.
Looking very closely at particularly the east coast, so there could be potential for other areas to come under water restrictions, but we'll continually monitor that.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
There's been another serious ATV crash, this time on Bruny Island. Emergency services responded to the incident on a dirt road south of Ilona around 6 o'clock last night. Police say a man lost control of his ATV near an intersection and was thrown from the vehicle as it rolled. A 51-year-old man from Bruny Island was taken to the Royal Hobart Hospital in a critical condition. Police say initial investigations suggest speed may have been a factor in the crash. Police are looking for 3 cars believed to be linked to a shooting at Invermay last night. Officers were called to New Street around 8:30 following reports of gunshots. Nobody was injured in the ordeal. A black Holden ute, orange Ford sedan and damaged silver sedan were sighted in the area. Anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. The latest health department statistics continue to show worrying systems of the system under pressure. Only 62% of people presenting to emergency departments were seen on time in September, a drop of 1%. The Launceston General and Royal Hobart Hospitals were the worst performers, where only 56% and 57% were seen on time. More than 10,500 people are on an elective surgery waiting list, a growth of almost 300. The government says the data shows continuing growth in demand and it's committed to a better health system. Local entrepreneurs will receive a boost with the state government opening up the latest phase of grants for small businesses. The funding will assist operators with overheads as well as offer them the chance to receive advice from skilled business mentors. The government says it's important to help businesses through the challenging start-up phase.
They may have a great idea, but it will only flourish and succeed in the marketplace with a strong business plan, and that's what our enterprise centres seek to give.
Grant applications will open tomorrow. Tasmania Police is kicking off a road safety blitz in the lead up to the Christmas and New Year holiday period. Operation Crossroads is rolling out across the state as officers prepare for a busy Friday night with Christmas knock-off celebrations.
Out in force, with the aim of catching drivers doing the wrong thing. This breath testing station at Sorrel, the first one of many we can expect over the Christmas New Year period.
Anywhere in the state, at any time, day or night. So if they have any doubt about whether they should be driving after they've been drinking, they should not be driving.
Operation Crossroads officially begins tomorrow, running through to New Year's Day, with hundreds of extra police on duty. 5 people died and 19 were injured last festive season, a figure police don't want repeated.
That's devastating for those families when we should be actually celebrating the time together as a family.
We want to travel around our roads safely and get to those festivities that we want to get to and not remember Christmas for all the wrong reasons.
Unmarked cars will also be patrolling the roads.
You don't know, it could be a police car, and if you're on your phone, if you're speeding or if you've had some drinks, you could be the one getting pulled up.
The Road Safety Council says passengers should also call out dangerous behaviour.
Assert your right to stay alive and tell them to stop. There should be more of that.
Police are also preparing for a busy night tonight, with thousands of people expected to visit pubs and restaurants across Tasmania for Christmas knock-off drinks.
Look after your friends and your mates. Make sure they get home. If they're starting to cause trouble, get them home safely, because we want everyone to enjoy this Christmas New Year period.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Dramatic footage has shown the tar of a busy Tasmanian highway seemingly melting in yesterday's scorching heat. Witnesses say they've never seen anything like it, with cars forced to veer off the road to avoid the hazard.
Tyres are sticking to it.
South of Epping Forest, a new road barely a year old, buckling under its first real taste of summer heat.
That's bad. Can't drive on it. The road's just melted.
Vehicles forced to creep along the outer rails of the Midland Highway to avoid the tacky tar.
Because the chunks were that bad, if you would have hit them, it would have nearly took your tyre off.
Jenna Wessing was among the hundreds of drivers travelling the thoroughfare yesterday and pulled out her phone to start filming the chaos, which she says spanned for more than a kilometre.
It was quite extraordinary to see. The amount of gouges and the big chunks that was out of the road, I've never seen that before ever.
The extra unseasonal heat that came on quite quickly, together with the laying of bitumen product, did cause some stripping on the highway.
But today there was no highway hazard for drivers, with the contractor quick to clean up the melted mess at no extra cost to the taxpayer.
Government pays good money to contractors to do a good job, and I know that the contractor right now is remedying that situation.
Local drivers waiting with bated breath to see if the new measures last the test of 2 more summer months. Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
There's a new safety check for Tasmanian boaters that could save a life. Marine and Safety Tasmania is urging people going out on the water to take a 30-second challenge to ensure they are properly prepared.
While checking the safety equipment before a day out on the water, Mast wants boaters to add a new item to the list.
Starts now.
A 30-second challenge to make sure you're prepared for an on-water emergency.
Test how well your safety system works. You know, if you can do those things, find your safety gear and make a mayday call all within the space of 30 seconds, then your system's pretty good. 25 seconds.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Water safety authorities are advising boaters to store safety equipment in one easy-to-reach place and ensure everybody on board is aware of the location.
Have it all together, easy to grab. So if your boat's on fire or if your boat's about to capsize, you can grab it, get in the water and it floats and you've got all the stuff with you. That's the key with the 30-second challenge.
It's important that everybody knows where the safety gear is on board the boat, and also to make sure it's accessible, and so you can get to that quickly.
Weather conditions on the water can change in an instant. Authorities are urging boaters heading out this summer to make sure they have the latest information.
we've seen some shocking accidents and incidents in years gone by. Let's try and keep fatality free over this Christmas period.
For more information on safety standards, visit the MAST website. Ebony Ablett, 7 Tasmania News.
With seafood set to take pride of place on Christmas tables this festive season, Tasmanians are being urged to buy local. Restaurants are already preparing for their busiest day of the year. Hobart's Muir's expecting to sell up 300 kilograms each of prawns and crayfish. But as shoppers pick up their Christmas supplies, they're being urged to consider where they purchase their product.
It's well worthwhile paying a few extra dollars to ensure you're buying sustainable seafood, fresh seafood. You're supporting the economy, you're supporting the small business owners that own fishing boats.
Australian seafood sales do tend to increase. The sad reality too is that imports also increase. So my message to Australians and Tasmanians in particular this time of year is to buy Australian seafood.
Christmas Eve is set to be the busiest day, with pre-ordering recommended so you don't miss out. Mona has launched a 42-day festival of summer music. Local jazz band D7 kicked off the event this morning, one of 115 acts to play on the lawns until January 31. A variety of genres will hit the stage, ranging from Japanese jazz right through to local talent.
We're not sticking with one genre because that wouldn't really reflect what's going on in the music world or even in the Tasmanian music scene.
Extra ferry services will also run between the museum and the Brook Street Pier throughout the festival.
The Hobart Hurricanes have pulled off the Great Escape in Alice Springs, and they have an Afghan spinner to thank. Case Ahmed causing a Sydney Sixers collapse, the Canes defending their minuscule total. A smattering of purple in the Red Centre, a far cry from Tasmania's traditional stomping ground, but playing on neutral territory in the territory did little to stop Darcy Short.
Short likes the look of this and he hits nice and straight.
Born in Katherine, but Alice Springs still felt like home.
Too short. It won't be for or will it? He's got enough power into that to get it past Silk at deep mid-wicket.
Caleb Jewell looked to the heavens. No mercy was granted, neither for Ben McDermott. A Hail Mary caught at ground level to have the Canes 2 for 76 halfway through the innings. In came new recruit David Miller. Short stole the limelight.
That's the single to bring up a half-century for Darcy Short.
But it didn't last long. Short caught on 51. Outgoing veteran George Bailey had nothing to lose.
High, long and strong all the way.
But he did on 12. The Canes limped to the finish line. Simon Malenko gone for 6, James Faulkner for 1. The South African 16.
Miller out. Straight down the throat of Vincent, extra cover, and he's not happy.
An underwhelming 129 as the temperature hit 40 degrees. The only ones sweating, though, were the Sixers.
And a direct hit, absolutely outstanding.
Case Ahmed with the highlight of the day. Riley Meredith followed up with one of his own.
Got him.
Suddenly, the Canes' total seemed defendable as 3 quick wickets fell.
Another wicket goes. They're falling everywhere at the moment.
And they just kept falling.
That is something very special, and that is even more special.
Another wicket the next ball, a stumping. The Afghan smile kept getting bigger. Imagine how it felt being 4 for 5.
This is extraordinarily good bowling. Extraordinarily good.
It saved the innings. The Sixers couldn't find the runs in time.
In the air, out. Game over.
Tasmania marking new territory a long way from home. In the rest of the day's sport news, a long-awaited report into a Tasmanian AFL team has landed on state government desks. It outlines the business case for securing a state-based licence in both the AFL and AFLW. No details on what is in the report have been released yet, with the state government saying it would need time to digest the 300-page document.
Good evening. Hobart, the warmest population centre today with 32 degrees. Launceston 26, Burnie 21 and Devonport 22. Temperatures were between 2 and 8 above average. Butler's Gorge 30, Grove, Ouse and Strawn 29, Lyawenia warm 27, Flinders Island and Friendly Beaches 24, King Island 23 today and St Helens 20. Flinders Island clear today, but partly cloudy conditions over most of Tasmania. On the bigger picture, a cold front has a band of cloud to our west. Middle-level cloud extends through inland Western Australia, pushing down over the Bight. An upper-level disturbance is over South Australia. Tomorrow, the cold front crosses Tasmania before a high moves our way from over the Bight. Surface troughs dominate most of the rest of the country. West to southwest winds 20 to 30 knots and up to 35 knots over southern waters with a 4-metre swell. A gale warning current between Tasman Island and Low Rocky Point, a strong wind warning for remaining coastal waters, along with the southwest lakes. Hobart, Saturday, 21 and partly cloudy, bit of a drop on today. 15 the top for Medina with a shower or two, the wind's picking up, Oatlands 18, 25 for Launceston and sunny, 21 the top for Devonport, Lyowini a bit windy, partly cloudy and 15. 20 the top for Burnie and mostly sunny, a shower for Strawn 16, Marrawar 16 as well. And over to the east, St Helens, 22 degrees, 24 for Swansea, Orford a top of 21 degrees. UV 11s and extreme. On Sunday, fine apart from morning showers over the southwest, partly cloudy on Monday with a chance of a light shower over the southwest again. Finer mostly sunny for most of us on Tuesday. Sunny in Perth tomorrow, partly cloudy over Adelaide and Melbourne, 41 in Canberra, an afternoon change in Sydney and a sunny 33 in Brisbane. And here are the current conditions. Hobart still quite warm on 31 degrees, 26 in Launceston, Devonport 21. We've updated our Christmas Day forecast. We're still looking for a partly cloudy day and mostly fine, but a shower over Strawn and some showers over Hobart in the morning. So it looks like a little bit of rain, dear.
Oh, very good. Okay, thank you.